The reason why I started this YouTube channel was to make videos so I can push myself outside of my comfort zone. But before I push myself, I actually have to reflect on what I struggle with, and that's anxiety. And I believe that nature can cure it. There we go. Alright, gotta do a quick steak check. Look at that. I'm gonna cut into it. Oh, there we go. A little bit overdone, but still nice and pink on the inside. This is an experiment, by the way. Oh yeah. This is like top 5 steaks I've ever had. So let's talk a bit. That scared me. Let's talk a bit about anxiety. I think there's such a negative sort of stigma to when saying you have anxiety. If you do experience anxiety, or you have before, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a normal part of life. Some people struggle with it more than others. And I strongly feel like being here in this environment can really change your life. As you know, fear is a common reaction to make sure that we stay safe within our environment. It's helpful. We respond to stimulus, we respond to stimuli, and when we deem something a threat, we go into fight or flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze, as many of you might know. And this was sought to protect us, because if we're in the wild, a hungry bear wants to eat our steak, eat our special treat, we're gonna have to run, or fight. Hopefully not fight. But it's confusing how such a normal reaction has started to become so harmful to our daily lives. You know, now we've been removed from our natural environment, and now we live in comfortable homes, or at least the ones that are fortunate enough to. We have basically all of our needs provided for us. So why have we overcome the overall intense physical danger, but yet in America, or more the fact, the world, we've never been more anxious or terrified of things before? In 2024, a study by Psychiatry reported that 43% of the people that were polled said that they were more anxious this year than in the last. Or if we look at other first world countries, in England, the number of antidepressants prescribed went up by 34% within only a matter of a few years. So what's going on? There are many theories. This is mine. This is my personal one. You can take it with a grain of salt. But in my opinion, I gotta flip this pie. The main problems that we see today with anxiety is that people are not reflecting. They're digging too deep into distractions, into their phones, into TV screens, into their chip bags. And two, if they do happen to stumble upon the thing that they fear, the thing that they struggle with, they often have a hard time facing it. And realistically, the only way to get over your fears, to get over your struggles, is to face that very same thing. Famously said by Carl Jung, wherever your fear is, that is your task. Because if I've learned anything from my life, the times where I fear something greatly or struggle with something, and I make great victories towards that thing, I grow tremendously as a person. And you might be wondering, so what can I do? How can I make these things a little bit easier for me to face? Well, if you do struggle with anxiety, like myself, what I highly recommend, and this is for anyone either two, whatever you're struggling with, is to go out into nature. Whether you're struggling reflecting on something or facing something, both of those things are going to come out if you truly spend a long time outdoors. With reflection, if you get rid of your phone, you can really start to think clearly, especially if you're in a beautiful, peaceful space and face kind of those chaotic things that you are going through. Because we're not really, if we think about it, our ancestry, 400 or 500 years ago, we were living in nature. And our minds really haven't caught up to any of that. So connecting back to what our bodies are used to, I believe can bring us that sort of clarity that we've been seeking or lacking. And that doesn't mean we have to totally reject society and become, buckskin wearing people. But yeah, the disconnect is something that we truly, truly need. I had a conversation with a person who does adventure therapy. Really cool therapy technique where basically you take a bunch of people who are struggling with whatever mental health issues and you take them out into nature, and you also give them regular therapy as well, but help them face things. And the owner of this specific organization said, you can never hide yourself when you're out camping. Tendencies, certain thoughts, certain patterns are really going to come out, especially when you're first learning how to do something, when you're struggling. I think the beautiful thing about nature is that when we do spend considerable amount of time, and I highly recommend people to try camping, is that you learn how to be adaptive. And that's something we really don't do as much in our normal day-to-day life. Like out camping or backpacking especially, you're trying to adapt to nature, to the elements. You're facing the chaos that may actually come, and you're preparing yourself. You're not running, you're not over fearful. You have to stay within that tension of fear a little bit of this, but also let's make sure we're also calm and ready to do what we need to do. And it's the same thing in life. It's the same thing out in the regular world. You have to have a little bit of concern, but not enough where it pushes you over the edge. But if you have too little fear, you're not going to push yourself. You're not going to grow. And I can admit this as well. I am still fearful to go camping alone. And I'm also a little bit afraid to travel, which is kind of funny because I'm like an adventure YouTuber. But that's why I created this channel, is because I want to make sure that I'm facing those things so I can take those victories, build off of each other, and then become the person that I want to be, which I know that's what fear is showing, because it's scary going into these things. It's scary changing. And I know I will get there. I know I will get to the point where I'm not scared to travel, or I'm not as scared to camp alone. And I'm really excited to face those things. It's going to be hard. There's going to be challenges, but I know that by going into the tension, by going into the chaos, I will emerge much more adaptive, much more flexible. And you can do the same things too. Start in nature. Start where a place that feels correct to you. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out to a family member, to a friend. You're not in this alone. And feel free to drop a YouTube comment. Say your story. I told mine. I'm not embarrassed. There's no reason to be embarrassed. And I'm really disappointed about my dessert that I destroyed. Hopefully I can do it better next time. Keep pushing yourself, keep reflecting, keep finding space. We're in this together. All right, I'm gonna go now. I'll see you guys later.